Emily's laughter rang through the crisp morning air as she chased her golden retriever across the grass. The 7-year-old's hair gleamed in the sunlight, her joy as boundless as the clear blue sky above. Her parents watched from the porch, coffee cups in hand, sharing a quiet moment of peace. Suddenly, the sky dimmed unnaturally. A shimmering craft descended from the clouds, its surface alive with shifting patterns of light. The hum of its engines grew deafening. Before anyone could react, a beam of light shot down, encasing Emily in a radiant cocoon. She vanished in an instant. Her mother's scream shattered the silence. Her father sprinted towards the empty space where his daughter had stood, his hands clawing at the air as if sheer will could bring her back. The ship lingered for a moment, its presence alien and indifferent, before it shot upward, disappearing into the void. Cameras in nearby homes captured the entire event. Within minutes, the footage spread across the internet like wildfire. Across the globe, billions watched in disbelief. News anchors speculated about extraterrestrial motives, while analysts dissected the abduction frame by frame. Social media erupted in a cacophony of outrage and terror. Parents held their children tighter that night, fearing who might be next. Emily's family made a public plea for her return, their grief palpable and raw. "She's just a little girl," her mother sobbed into the camera. "Please, give her back." Days stretched into weeks with no response. Humanity's demand for answers was met with cold silence until, finally, an alien emissary materialized in Earth's orbit. The Galactic Empire had spoken. Earth's representatives, hastily assembled, delivered their demands: the immediate return of Emily and a cessation of hostilities. The emissary's reply was blunt and devoid of empathy. "The child is a biological curiosity, selected for study. Your species holds no status within the Galactic Accord. Interference will not be tolerated." The words ignited a firestorm. Leaders across the globe denounced the Empire's arrogance. "Inferior species?" one diplomat fumed. "We are human, we protect our own." The call for unity spread like wildfire, uniting nations that had long been divided. The abduction was no longer about one child, it was a symbol of the Empire's disdain for humanity. From presidents to civilians, a singular rallying cry emerged: for Emily. Scientists, engineers, and military strategists pooled their resources. Rival corporations shared guarded secrets, military installations hummed with activity, and Earth's brightest minds worked tirelessly. Unprecedented cooperation paved the way for unprecedented action. This wasn't just a fight to retrieve a single child. It was a declaration of humanity's refusal to bow. The war for Emily had begun. The abduction of Emily shattered borders as easily as it had shattered her family's hearts. Nations that had once stood as rivals now stood shoulder to shoulder, bound by a collective fury. Agreements that had taken decades of negotiation were discarded in hours, replaced by a unified banner: the Terran Coalition. Leaders, scientists, and military minds from every corner of the globe gathered in underground bunkers and orbital stations, united by a single purpose. For the first time in human history, the planet was speaking with one voice. But unity was only the beginning. Humanity's strength lay not just in numbers but in ingenuity. Laboratories worked day and night to understand the technologies left behind by ancient alien visitors. Fragments of forgotten ships and dormant artifacts became the foundation for a new era of human advancement. Weapons capable of piercing electromagnetic shields, starships with faster-than-light propulsion, and autonomous drones designed for interstellar combat emerged in mere months. What the Galactic Empire saw as scraps, humanity turned into tools of rebellion. Engineers adapted designs with a practicality that defied the rigid doctrines of the Empire. Ships bristled with weapons cobbled together from mining lasers, kinetic railguns, and newly synthesized plasma cannons. Every prototype was tested, iterated upon, and tested again. It wasn't pretty, but it was effective. This revolution wasn't limited to technology. The coalition called upon every human to contribute. Factories ran day and night, producing ships and munitions at breakneck speed. Schools became training grounds, and cities became strongholds. Volunteers flooded recruitment centers, from seasoned soldiers to teenagers determined to fight for the future. Emily's parents, devastated yet determined, found their purpose in the war effort. Using their expertise in computer systems, they developed Guardian, a hyper-advanced AI capable of analyzing galactic data streams and pinpointing enemy weaknesses. The AI, named in honor of their daughter, became the Coalition's strategic backbone, an emblem of human resilience. In streets and factories, on screens and in speeches, the war cry echoed, "For Emily!" It wasn't just a slogan, it was a promise, a vow to defy a galaxy that dared to see humanity as insignificant. The Coalition's forces launched their first mission, a skirmish against a remote Empire outpost. The objective was simple: test their new fleet and prove they could strike back. When the dust settled, the outpost was in ruins, and the human fleet, though battered, returned victorious. It was a small step, but it sent shockwaves across Earth. Victory, for the first time, seemed within reach. Humanity didn't fight like the Galactic Empire expected. The Empire's military relied on overwhelming force, massive fleets, and rigid hierarchies. Humanity offered chaos instead. Earth's forces struck without warning, disappearing before the Empire could mount a counterattack. They jammed communications, disabled critical systems with coordinated cyber attacks, and seeded asteroid fields with cloaked mines. Every skirmish was a puzzle the Empire couldn't solve, with humanity rewriting the rules of engagement at every turn. Spaceports were sabotaged by small strike teams using stealth suits cobbled together from industrial materials. Remote-controlled drones, cheap and expendable, swarmed Empire patrols. Even ancient satellites were repurposed, reprogrammed to collide with enemy craft or serve as decoys. Where the Empire prized precision, humanity embraced adaptability, exploiting every weakness. The Empire's soldiers began whispering about the Terrans, creatures who fought with no regard for their own safety, who struck from shadows and vanished without a trace. The Empire responded with overwhelming firepower. Mars, the jewel of humanity's early colonization efforts, was bombarded relentlessly. Luna's orbital cities were reduced to floating debris. Millions were lost in the assaults, their deaths a grim reminder of the enemy's might. Yet humanity adapted again. Surviving Martian settlements became fortresses, their red deserts reshaped into labyrinths of defensive trenches and automated turrets. On Luna, underground bunkers were connected by tunnels, allowing the population to fight on despite the destruction above. Losses hurt, but they only steeled Earth's resolve. The tide of war shifted during the battle for Titan. The Empire, seeking to secure the resource-rich moon, deployed a fleet of warships equipped with shields thought to be impenetrable. The Terran Coalition countered with a secret weapon, stellar lances, colossal energy beams harnessing the power of the sun. As the Empire's fleet descended, Earth's ships maneuvered into the shadow of Saturn, using its rings for cover. When the lances fired, the results were devastating. Shields buckled and ships exploded in fiery bursts. The Empire, caught off guard by the raw power of humanity's innovation, retreated. For the first time, humanity had delivered a defeat so profound it forced the Empire to reevaluate its enemy. The battle for Titan wasn't just a victory. It was a declaration of humanity's ability to stand toe-to-toe with galactic powers. Word of humanity's defiance spread across the galaxy. Oppressed species, long resigned to their subjugation, began to rise. The Zenari, a race known for their technological prowess but bound to servitude, dismantled Empire's ships in their shipyards and sent them to Earth. The Orkan, fierce warriors chained as mercenaries, revolted against their masters, inspired by humanity's audacity. A coalition formed, with Earth at its heart. The galaxy was changing, and the Empire was no longer its unchallenged ruler. Humanity had sparked something greater, a rebellion that would burn brighter than any star. Guardian AI scanned billions of Empire transmissions, analyzing patterns, encryptions, and signals at speeds no human could match. Finally, it found the breakthrough. Emily was alive, held aboard an Empire research station orbiting the star Zalus 5. The station, heavily fortified and located deep within Empire territory, was a fortress designed to keep secrets hidden. Despite the odds, the Terran coalition planned a rescue. Humanity had spent too much and lost too many to fail now. A team of elite operatives, handpicked for their skills and resolve, boarded a stealth-class ship outfitted with cloaking technology and experimental weapons. Every member knew the risks. They might not return, but the mission was clear. Emily's location was transmitted to their heads-up displays, and Guardian guided them with precision as they navigated enemy patrols and breached the station's perimeter. Inside, the station's cold, metallic halls were a maze of danger. Automated turrets and patrolling guards forced the team to rely on every ounce of their training. One operative disabled a surveillance grid while another neutralized a guard with a silenced energy blade. As they moved deeper, resistance increased. An ambush in a narrow corridor left 2 soldiers wounded but still fighting. The stakes were palpable with every step. Reaching the containment wing, the team found Emily in a sterile chamber, surrounded by machinery that monitored her every move. She was scared but unharmed, her eyes wide as Captain Sarah Kim approached, kneeling to meet her gaze. Sarah spoke softly, offering comfort in a voice that cut through Emily's fear. For the first time in months, the child reached out, clutching Sarah's hand as though it were the only lifeline in the universe. The alarm blared. Empire forces were closing in, and the team had to move fast. Carrying Emily, Sarah led the retreat as explosions and gunfire echoed around them. The operatives fought with ferocity, covering one another as they navigated the gauntlet back to their ship. A final stand at the hangar bay bought them enough time to board and launch, the stealth systems activating just as an Empire cruiser arrived. They escaped, battered but victorious, the sight of the station disappearing behind them a symbol of hope for every human heart. Emily's return was broadcast across Earth and the galaxy. The sight of the young girl reuniting with her tearful parents brought a catharsis to billions. Humanity's message followed the footage, *. We protect our own. *. It wasn't just a declaration, it was a warning. Inspired by this defiance, more species within the Empire began to rebel, their courage ignited by the story of a little girl and the humans who refused to give up on her. The coalition struck at the heart of the Empire with precision and unyielding determination. Years of rebellion had weakened the once mighty galactic regime, and humanity's creative strategies had inspired oppressed species to rise in defiance. The final battle unfolded over the Empire's capital, a planet-sized fortress defended by an armada of warships. The Terran coalition led the charge, its fleets bristling with technology that had once been dismissed as primitive. While allied species took on the outer defenses, humanity's forces plunged straight into the fray. Stellar lances carved paths through enemy cruisers, and stealth bombers crippled key stations. Ground troops stormed the Emperor's citadel, using their ingenuity to disable traps and overwhelm the guards. Finally, surrounded and defeated, the Emperor surrendered, his proclamation echoing through the galaxy. Humanity stands as our equal. The war that had begun with a child's abduction ended with the fall of an empire. As the dust settled, Earth rose as a beacon of hope. Once dismissed as insignificant, humanity was now a symbol of resilience and defiance. Emily's story, told and retold across countless worlds, became a rallying cry for freedom. Her name became synonymous with the idea that even the smallest voice could spark a revolution. Earth joined the galactic stage not as conquerors, but as liberators, advocating for the rights of all species to live free from tyranny. Yet, victory carried a heavy weight. Entire cities lay in ruins, both on Earth and across its colonies. Millions of soldiers and civilians had sacrificed their lives, their names etched into the annals of history but leaving voids in countless hearts. Emily, now safe with her family, bore scars of her own, her bright eyes now shadowed by memories of confinement. Her parents expressed gratitude for her return, but their relief was tempered by the knowledge that the price had been unimaginable. "We've saved her," her father said softly, "but the world she comes back to has changed." Humanity reflected on the war's cost, mourning those who would never see its fruits. Despite the scars, there was a profound sense of unity that had emerged from the ashes. Nations no longer looked at each other as rivals but as partners, bound by the memory of what they had overcome. Beneath a clear sky, free of alien ships and the sounds of battle, Emily stood in her backyard once more. Her small hands held a sapling as her parents helped her plant it in the soil. The tree symbolized renewal, its roots a reminder of the past, and its branches a testament to growth. Humanity's resilience had not only reshaped the galaxy but also forged a future brighter than any could have imagined. For Emily, for the billions lost, and for the generations yet to come, humanity had endured. And under the shadow of that growing tree, the world breathed again.